Okay, in the shop today, in my garage today, some ESS AMT 1AM speakers. The problem with one of these speakers is you see this, I think they call it an air transformer something, the tweeter. There's no sound coming out of the tweeter. Left speaker, or in this orientation, left speaker works well, right speaker no high end. So I'm going to remove that air mover transformer thingy. And I looked these up like a week ago, so I'm going to remove that, and I'm either going to swap them around to make sure that it's a problem with the speaker and not a problem internally with this big speaker. But I suspect that it's probably a bad diaphragm, and I'll show you what that is and what that means if and or when we get to that point. So I don't know how to remove these. I believe it's these two screws on top, and then I think it lifts off, and there should be some kind of disconnect, but I don't know that for sure. So I'm going to that's how I'm going to approach it. I'm going to work on this. I'll cut over to when I have it disassembled and let you know what I see at that point. Alright, so I'm going to show you this. Screws came out. This has been worked on before, because if you look at the tops of these, you can see marks from a socket or a wrench or pliers or who knows what they use. This lifts right off. On the back, there are little push connectors that attach to these two wires going into the speaker. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to grab my multimeter just to see what I'm getting here in terms of resistance, right? I want to ohm this speaker out. So I'm going to do that first just to see what that looks like, and then it was really easy to remove this, put the new one in. So I'll just swap them, and then we'll see if we get the same result. So that's what I'm going to be doing. One thing I do want to point out, you can see the diaphragm. So the diaphragms are replaced on these by removing this little cover plate, and then there's some putty. You remove the putty and then you slide the diaphragm out, and then the diaphragm attaches to this this junction box or whatever you want to call it. You can almost see the diaphragm in there, kind of see the light shining through. That's the diaphragm, and you can buy these. You can find them on eBay. I think maybe Parts Express sells them. So anyway, I'm going to look at this, see if I can figure out what's wrong with it, and go from there. All right, so I think the transformer's okay, and let me show you why I think that. Well, what I've confirmed is that if I measure the resistance, 2.8 ohms, I'm getting 3.3 on the other one. Right now, if I measure the wires going into the speaker cabinet, I should be getting, at least on that other speaker, it was 17 ohms, and I'm getting nothing. So I think, at least it appears, this is okay, but there's something going on inside the cabinet. These could be disconnected, who knows what it is. But I'm going to have to get inside the cabinet to see what's going on. These speakers are heavy. They're just heavy. I mean, they're the heaviest speakers I've ever had to deal with. Other than like the Bozak concert grands that are 200 pounds a piece, these things are monsters. So, and this thing itself is probably a good, I don't know, 15, 20 pounds. So I'm going to have to position this speaker. I'm going to have to lay it flat, get in here and look to see what's going on. I'm not going to film me wrestling with this thing, but I will kind of show you what I see after I pull. I'll probably have to pull the woofer out of it and see what's going on the inside. Alright, so pulled the radiator out, pulled that out first so I could get up underneath the woofer to pull that out. I'm going to leave it sitting there for now. I don't see any breaks in the wire. I'm going to clean the pads up. So that L pad right there, like a potentiometer. So clean that. I am gonna take my my multimeter and just make sure that there are no breaks in the line, or I mean the wire looks good, but you never know. So just gonna poke around doing those types of things, clean that that L pad, and then hopefully get some sound. Well, that gloriously annoying sound is wonderful. So let me tell you what I did. Turn this off just so we don't have to listen to it anymore. So the problem was a dirty high frequency breaker switch. So how I got there, if you look inside and look at the crossover, all right, see underneath that red coil, that little box right there, that is the high frequency breaker. So what I did is I sprayed some deoxit in there, some fader lube, and just worked it, 20-30 times, and it seems to have resolved the problem, at least as far as connectivity goes. So I'm going to have to put the speaker back together, reconnect everything, and then test it out. So again, I'm going to where that air transformer whatever thingy is connected, and now I'm getting 20 ohms. Now that's without the woofer connected, so with the woofer connected that may influence that. I know on the other one it was 17, but anyway, so I'm going to put this back together and then we'll test it out and see if it works. Alright, one of my favorite test tracks. Let's get this thing going. I like to do it. So, bass restored on, this was the one that was out. I like to reg. So I don't want to play too much of the song. But yeah, so it's just that that dirty high frequency breaker. So good, we don't have to order anything for this. So yeah, that was it for the ESS AMT 1As, I think. Don't even remember what they're called now. So anyway, I'm gonna kind of clean these up a little bit, put a little bit of feed and wax on them, get them to the shop, and get them out on the floor. So as always, if you like what you see, hit like, hit subscribe, and I will catch you in the next video.